Okay. Thanks a lot, sir, for giving us this opportunity. Uh, we are a new startup in the IoT segment, and I would like to start off with the fact that we are into the infrastructure management space and trying to provide this customer a very basic need, which has been there for long ages in terms of the management of unified platforms, the unification of multiple silos based platforms which are available already, and then to have a collaborative operations and maintenance thing, so that uh, so that the customer would understand and have the clarity about how things are working, which is at present being done manually. So, to introduce ourselves, we are Infraknit Technologies. We started off in the previous year, April 2021. As of now, we are clocking at 1.6 crores of revenue, which is realized. We have major projects which have come from the data centers, smart cities, one large infra, and the AMCs. Our customers, as of now, big names like Rital, Railtel, NIC, High Court, CCDNS, Bank of Bhutan, Coal India, and Aizawl Smart City. Uh, we are three founders, me, myself, Shubham Sarkar. I have along with me Mr. Jacob Thomas, who takes care of the technical and the technology aspect of it, and my other colleague and my partner, Mr. Anil Sode, who is having the background of the operational management. And the best part is that we are amalgamation of three different verticals put together, and that's why we think and we are confident enough that we will be able to deliver what the customer requires. Now, going forward, we are typically focusing as of now in the three verticals, which are the data center infra management, which is a buzzword in the industry as of now, and people are creating huge lot of data reservoirs, both in the north as well as west, and then you have people coming in south with too much of co-location sites coming up. So this is one of the biggest market segments that we are targeting at. Apart from that, we have the smart cities and the campus solutions, uh, which are there for the customer, and the government is also propagating the smart city and the smart village concepts, and we are also on that with the solutions which are readily available for them. And the third is one of the biggest segments that we are talking about is the urban transport infrastructure management, which typically would be the metros, the airports, and the other regional transport mechanisms which the government is focusing too much on, where you have the golden triangle coming in, uh, uh, government investing too much on the connectivity part of it. So we are focusing, and we have the understanding of the market, coupled with the understanding of the customer, which is probably to have a platform which would give them a unification, or I would rather prefer to say a combined introspection into how the things are working or the equipments are working, which have been put across in the capital investment by the government, and then make out whether the investments that have been put across would rather give you the ROI, and thus taking it forward. So the market that we are talking about, if you look at the global scenario, you would find that it is almost more than 1850 billion dollars, out of which 300 billion dollars is the estimated market for the IoT, and And beyond that, you would understand that it almost 50% of this IoT market is predominantly being understood by the smart cities and the enterprise IoT. So we are focusing on this 50% of the market, and uh, we we can give the solution which the industry needs. So, why Infinite and why now is because uh, we have we have understood what the customer requires. We make up to those requirements and do the customization, which is our biggest strength, and then showcase it to the customer in such a way that it is a win-win situation for both the organizations. So, as of now, we have interacted with the government organizations which have put faith into us by giving us orders, and we have been very fortunate enough to have delivered those projects successfully. We have the completion certificates from the government organizations directly, and apart from that, we have, uh, since we are from the industry, we understand where the market is going, and we are taking our products to the next level in correspondence to the market's requirement. Uh, Thus, we would like to have people on board with us who understand the technology as well as uh, the market. Now, what sets us apart is the part that we have a unified management platform which takes care of the end-to-end KPIs, uh, uh, which are being taken from the customer directly and put into the system and made automated. Uh, the platform that we have created does not take into consideration does take into consideration all the type of asset classes, whether it is electrical asset or a non-electrical asset or basically IT asset. We have the complete um, platform. We will come to it on the next slide, where we would make you understand how the protocol stacks are getting integrated into us. The system is a plug and play kind of system. We give the solution to the customer, and it's easy and easy to deploy, and takes very little time to integrate with the systems. We are open to all kind of future elements which would come into the picture. Now, coming to the strategic rationale which we have is that we uh, are we want to grow into the elite class of IoT companies which are coming up in a big way uh, into the non-IT and the IT segment, clubbed together on a single dashboard. We want to be a financially independent organization, and grow in the global business, because this is something which is a huge market potential, not only in India but outside India. And since we have the development in house, so we can do the customization and do the developments in terms of the customer's requirement per se, which changes over time, and thus creating a market position, getting profitability, and generating the cash flows. So the opportunities are huge. If you look at the market in India itself, if you look at the urban transport market opportunities, you have almost 15 odd metro lines which are proposed by the government. There are RRTS lines which are also in the regional uh, railway transport systems, which are also being proposed across India. Apart from that, there are huge potential in the data center colocation market. with the Protection Act coming into picture, and then we have the positioning done in the Middle East. We are already working with a couple of partners in Oman, and then we have one partner who is working in Dubai. Uh, and all this is making good sense, because at the end of the day, we can deliver the project in a very reasonable economical package to the customer. Now, this is typically the product area as of now. We are working on in the smart cities. We talk about EMS, NMS, help desk, and the IBMS, which gets integrated to the command control center. And we also provide in terms of the incident management and the operations management. Same goes for the urban transport, wherein we manage the platforms of the metro rail, we manage the airports uh, with the solution which integrates with the NOC and then gives the understanding of how the equipments per se are working. So the idea which we are floating across is that everybody talks about the resultant of the equipment which is functioning, but we are talking about the operational aspect of the product which have been installed. So if the product is working properly, it would obviously give you the result that is required out of it. So this is typically the data acquisition stack that we have. We have the multi-interface, multi-protocol mediation stack, which in a layman's term would mean that we have a single pipe which connects to all the equipments, whether it is a electrical equipment, say a DG set, a LT panel, a UPS, or an energy meter, along with the equipments like a server, routers, switches, databases, and all this connected to the same enterprise bus, which makes them in a common language. And then we analyze that data which has come up, and then create a parent-child relationship with those, and showcase it on the dashboard with a clear understanding of uh, how the system is working. If there is a problem, which system would take care of it, who is responsible for getting it repaired, and how much time did it take to get it repaired. So we are doing a 360-degree approach of the maintenance part, which is very, very crucial in terms of the operations post the supply and the installation. So we have been able to connect with uh, the major OEMs for the retrofit solutions. For greenfield, we have the complete solution. For retrofit solutions, we have the connections done with HP, IBM, Siemens, Honeywell, Emerson, and other people. So this is one of the first product that we have developed. It's called Infra. So it's basically the enterprise management supervisor. It is typically meant for smart cities and large infrastructure projects, wherein you have multiple kinds of equipments which are placed in the facility, and you need to monitor them whether they are functioning properly or not, and then keep a track of all the events which happen, and then give SLA charting, dashboards, and all those stuff. This is typically for the data center practice. We In the industry, it is known by DCIM, Data Center Infrastructure Management. We call it as IDCS. In this, we are typically managing the equipments which are related to the data center, even inside the data center, the IT equipments up till the application performance monitoring. So to to tell you very exactly, we are a combination of multiple OEMs put together. removing the manual interventions. So you would in a typical facility, you would data center facility, you would have the BMSs, and then you would have the enterprise management solution, and for each of the equipments, and all these are being managed by a couple of people, one from the facility side, one from the IT side, and then they giving all the reports to one person who would be the operations head, and then he makes a decision whose fault was it in any of the events that have occurred. So we are automating all these things in the system, taking into consideration all the SOPs which the customer has set and put it into the system. So all the manual interventions are gone. The system takes care of itself, takes a note of all the issues which would happen, and then showcase on the dashboard with all the details. This is typically for the stations. For the urban transport thing, we can manage the electrical network, the network backbone, the radio systems, the public address systems, and the cooling system, all put together on a single dashboard with all the ticketing done. So the ticketing that we are talking about is a unique feature which is not available for the non-IT equipments as of now. These are available for the IT equipments, but we have clubbed it with the non-IT equipment so that we can create the correlation between all both these things. And this is possible because we have the base solution, which is called OPRASU, which is the Operation Infrastructure Supervisor, which actually categorizes and takes the inventory, uh, does the asset categorization, the management of all the equipments and the performances are kept in this with all the uh, equipment details. Just sorry. So the value-added benefits that we have highlighted already are that we have a unified infrastructure management solution which is future ready, which has the understanding of the customer's requirement, which is put across in the system. All the things are automated, the faults are recorded, it they are channelized to the concerned person, the escalations are managed, everything is logged. uh, we have already connected it with multiple communication modes, including the SMSs, emails, WhatsApp, which are very, very important for the operations management. We take care of the inventory in this, which gives the complete understanding of how the equipment has performed throughout the life cycle, and keep a track record of all the events which have happened, how the vendors have responded to the queries or the incidents which have been raised. uh, then we can have the interactive dashboards for all these equipments. And to top it all, it's typically a audit system which would keep a track of the trends and the patterns. uh, we are a vendor agnostic platform. Since we don't manufacture the end equipments or the sensors, we are open to integrate with any kind of equipments, whether it is a retrofit equipment, whether it is a new setup, whether you have the solution or the element manager already available with the customer. We can sit on top of all these element managers, become the manager of manager for them, and then give them the understanding how they're functioning. So as of now, like I said, we have already clocked in 1.6 crores of revenue. We have a potential of almost 7 crores in the coming financial year, wherein we already have a pipeline of more than 16 CR in our kitty. We completed the product in the month of August. We got our first order in the month of July. We deployed our first the product by October, and we have as of now realized 1.6 crores. We are looking at investment of 3 crores with, as against in the dilution of almost 10% of our equity. Uh, we understand that uh, this money would be typically being used for the expansion of the market for us, because it's a very huge market, and we want to cater to multiple regions, not only in India but outside India. For that, we need people. We need the resources, and that's what we are looking for in the investment. This basically shows how we would utilize that money which we would get. As of now, we are sorry. As of now, we are spending our expenses in the ratio of 70/30, 70 being the salaries and rest being all the expenses. We are estimating that going forward, with the team expanded across the regions, we would be doing the spendings in the tune of 80/20, and this ratio would be dependent upon the investment that we get. So that's all for from our